I'll call this meeting to order of the Chattanooga Beer Board. Welcome everyone here today. All meeting attendees should sign in on the designated sign-in sheet if you have not for the requirements for the Sunshine Law. At this time, please turn off your electronic devices or mute them so that we won't disrupt the meeting. Any individuals wishing to address the board must do so from the podium, and please state your name before making comments and speak up. Sometimes it's a little hard to hear up here because of the acoustics. Also, I want to let the board members know this morning that we're going to start using the system for being recognized that we have in front of us, so we'll be going through this. I think some of y'all have used the system before, but I don't know if some others have not. So if you want to speak, you can, let me see, raise your hand and then I will recognize you in there. And the primary reason for this is so we're not talking over each other and that Lori on the official record and court reporter is not missing any parts of conversations. The minutes for the November 20th, 25 meeting are not complete yet, so we have no minutes to approve. So that takes us right into swearing in. Any individuals who will be testifying regarding a pending application or violation, we ask that you rise at this time and be sworn in by the court reporter. Good, Reginald's here.
I do.
Thank you very much. Next item is beer applications passed from last meeting. We have none that have been passed from the last meeting. And beer applications approved by regulatory. At the time we prepared this, there were none. Are there any that need to be added that have been approved? Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, then that takes us to our new temporary beer permit applications. So Bertha, do you want to read the first applicant, please, ma'am?
Is Joseph Fuller present? Okay. Chattanooga Firefighters Association Holiday Block Party, Main by 24. Joseph Fuller is making application to engage in the sale of consumer beer at 218 East Main Street. Mr. Fuller has not had a beer permit for such an event in the past. The event is to take place December 6, 2025, from 11 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. The location is owned by the city of Chattanooga, and I think there's a zoning problem. Zach's not here.
Zach's not here yet. Okay.
Thank you.
So Zach is not here. Do we want to move this to the end of our agenda and see if he'll be here in time? So what we're going to do is we're going to move this to the end of our agenda to allow time for the zoning representative from the city to be here. All right. Is there a motion to move the Chattanooga Firefighters Association TE 110 to the end of the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right.
And there are
Thank you.
2 applications for Logan's Roadhouse. The first one is Logan's Roadhouse Enterprise LLC, doing business as Logan's Roadhouse number 514, located at 3592 Commons Highway, consumer. The second one is Logan's Roadhouse number 388, located at 504 Northgate Mall Drive, Unit A. Both applications reflect an ownership change. The business was formerly operated by Logan's Roadhouse 2 LLC. On Commons Highway, the location is owned by Store Master Funding 8 LLC, and 504 Northgate Mall Drive, the location is owned by Retail Partners 153 LLC. I don't have a zoning on either one.
Say that one more time.
I don't have a zoning on either one.
Okay. So, all right, let's do that. The, so you don't, zoning has not signed off on it, is that what you're saying? Yes, okay. All right, we're gonna pause just a second, if y'all don't mind. Lori's been waiting 4 days for a call from the doctor. So we're gonna pause our meeting here just momentarily till she handles that call. Call from the doctor.
Okay.
She's only been taking, she has been trying to get in touch with him for 4 days. for your patience in this matter, but if you've ever had to get in touch with doctors, you understand that you gotta strike while the iron's hot. All right, so we're back to Logan's Roadhouse. So Officer Cowan, sorry. So this is beer 1373 and 1374. So is there a zoning issue on this?
Well,
You want to swear me in?
Yeah.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. So there's no zoning issue on this? It hasn't been reviewed. It came in 2 days ago,
yeah, that's what I was about to
following a
say.
holiday weekend.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
it just got active on the 2nd,
Okay, so we cannot take action on this today, but once zoning reviews it and approves it, then it can be approved automatically through the system and not have to come back before the board. Is that right?
Yeah, building has to approve it as well.
Okay, so building, so we're still awaiting zoning and building approval before we do that. So, does that make sense?
I think so. Good morning, my name's Carl Spinning, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, come on over here. Sorry about that. I should have asked you to do that earlier.
Carl, C-A-R-L, Spinning, S-P-I-N-I-N-G. I'm a lawyer at the firm of Ortel Kelly in Nashville, and we represent Logan Roadhouse Enterprises LLC, which is the new owner. And sorry about the late notice on the zoning, but we would like to proceed as expeditiously as possible. The sale actually has already happened yesterday, and we're just waiting on a couple items to get the new permits issued to continue. But we do have a temporary permission from ABC to continue under the old
Right.
permit.
Well, our system is set up as such that we cannot approve it until the city zoning and building inspectors have signed off on it. And as soon as they do, then it's an automatic process through the, what's the system called? OpenGov that we use, that they can do that automatically, and you will not have to come back here. It can be done, as soon as they're done and the zoning signs off on it, then the applicants can go online and complete it, and it will be approved.
All right, thank you,
All right.
Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, okay, let's see here, open, let's see, select next.
Okay, before you go, just to say, before you go, there shouldn't be any issues we anticipate with this, given it was an existing business. But one thing that could potentially happen is if issues come up, then it would have to come before us. But, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you still serving at both locations?
Yes.
Okay. And the zoning's not an issue. I can go in and improve the zoning. But you'll still need the building.
Still need
So they
the
still
building.
can't take action.
Okay, all right, very good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, okay, good, thank you. All right,
Next applicant, Play Wash Pint LLC, doing business as Play Wash Pint. Are they present? Pamela and Carrie Clark.
okay, anyone here for them? All right, is there a motion to move this to our next meeting?
Second.
All right, all in favor of moving this to our next meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed? All right, we'll go back to Bertha, if you'll read that caption again, please, ma'am, for number 1, the firefighters.
Chattanooga Firefighters Association Holiday Block Party, main times 24. Joseph Fuller is making application to engage in the sale of consumer beer at 218 East Main Street. Mr. Fuller has not had a beer permit for such an event in the past. The event is to take place December 6, 2025, from 11 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. The location is owned by the city of Chattanooga. Don't have a zoning on that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Fuller, if you'll come up to the microphone and state your name, please, sir.
Joseph Fuller.
All right. So what's the status on the zoning on this, Zach?
Well, I can't do a zoning review on a building where the event's not going to be held. So the application stated 218 East Main, which is Fire Hall 1. But the details state, of course, this is part of Main X24, that is Station Street. So I put a comment in there regarding the discrepancy with the address
Okay.
as to where the event's being held or where they're actually going to be serving. I don't think there's an issue with zoning, but I need, for integrity of record, a correct address of where the alcohol is going to be sold so I can actually do a review on the correct address. If it's going to be sold on public property, then I think they would also have to do kind of like the Montague Park had to do with having to go and get a special event permit, which allows for that, but that's its own process with that.
Okay.
But again, my zoning review is not off of public property, it's off of private property. So I need a private property address, a parcel that, where the beer is going to be sold.
Mr. Fuller, if you'll tell us now exactly what's going on.
Yes, sir. So doing the application, there's not a way to just do a street. You have to actually do a physical address. So we didn't want to assign the address to one of the businesses on Station Street. That's why they put the letter in there from the city, allowing us to use the city street. So we weren't sure where to put it. So since the city owned the fire hall, and that's kind of where half of our event is stationed, that's just why we put that on there.
Okay.
But we did have the letter from the city allowing us to use the property
Okay, so where are you going to be serving the beer?
on Station Street.
On Station Street.
I don't have an address number, and it wouldn't accept it without one.
This is interesting.
Did you get a special events permit for this?
So we operate under the Main Times 24, their permit.
Okay.
All right.
She said the only part we had to do was this part, and I guess why the parks and outdoor letter that we have, that we submitted with the application.
Okay. So Catherine, what does the letter of the law tell us? Oh, here, go ahead, Zach, here.
My question is how others serving on Station Street, because my understanding is a lot of people are going to be serving on Station Street, how they did their applications.
So they had an address associated with
Okay.
their, the serving area. So like if a business was on Main Street and they were doing the event, they would have an actual address to work out of. This does not have an actual address to work out of. They're just doing it the whole street. Is that what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And have y'all done this before?
We didn't serve alcohol last year. Last year was the first year we did the event, so we didn't serve alcohol.
Okay, here we go, hold on. All right, go ahead.
So you're saying Station Street, but do you know exactly where you're gonna set up at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is it not an address associated with where you're,
No, ma'am.
it's not in front of a business?
We didn't want to associate with a business because then you have to get a letter from that business saying that you fall under them.
Right.
So I didn't want to put that on any of the businesses on the street.
But the city wrote a letter saying you can still set up on Station Street.
Yes, ma'am.
So it sounds like they're giving you permission to just set up wherever you want, if they didn't give you an address or a location.
Right. That's the way I understood it, just because there is no physical address.
So my question is, with the station, where is Station 1 located?
Main Street, 218 East Main Street, it's a block away from Station Street. So part of our event, we have a fundraiser breakfast that we do at the fire hall. So that's why I say part of our event's there, so with it just being city property as well, that's why I put it on there.
Catherine,
Yeah.
with direction from legal, would it be appropriate, since it's not actually private property, to skip the zoning review, seeing as it's public property? If Manex 24, whoever is the responsible party for that, has already gotten the special event permit that is required for block parties and parks and stuff like Montague had to do, then could we skip the zoning review since it is public property and then allow that to move forward?
Who
I
got
need
the-
that in writing, of course.
Who got the, I guess, the special events permit for Maine by 24? I think if we can verify that information, then I think it should be fine. Because the reason why you get the special events permit is so you like can shut down the streets and stuff for block parties. And if this is operating under that, then I think it should be okay. But we would just need to confirm.
Yeah, Monica Kinsey is the one that operates May Times 24. I can't remember exactly what their host name for it is.
Okay, I can just, I guess, get with Monica about it, and then I will get you your,
That works for me. Just a word of advice. This came in a day before Thanksgiving.
We were trying to figure it out. I wasn't trying to be late.
I'm not
My
trying to
first
give
time
you,
shooting at
I'm
it,
not
so-
trying to give you a hard time. I was just going to give you some advice in the future when, I mean, because these kind of things, as you are now seeing, there can be some nuances, right? So we're always looking for a way to say yes to things.
Yep.
All right,
absolutely.
at least we are in zoning, right? But we also have to follow up procedures and, you know, there's a reason why there's a review and there's prohibited places, and there's checks and balances. So in the future, give yourself 30 days. So when you submit, because when you submit, it doesn't go straight to zoning. When you submit, it's gonna go to Miss Bertha, and she's gonna have to make sure everything's there. So you're in the intake process for the longest period of time, right? With pretty much any permit when it comes to regulatory or stuff like that, right? Making sure all the right documentation, everything is there. The review is very quick, but the review doesn't happen till, as you've seen, on down in the process, right? So just give yourself some more time in
Yes,
the
sir.
future, but good luck with your event.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so I don't think any action needs to be taken by the board today.
right?
And then if this all works, then it can all be done automatically through the OpenGov system.
Okay.
And we'll go from there, because I know this event starts tomorrow. Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Saturday.
so,
Yeah.
all right, very good. Thank you for
Thank you.
being here this
Thank you for your
morning.
time. Thank you.
All right.
And that's exactly the same. Give yourself time.
Okay. So that was moved. All right, so now we're in the discussion portion of our meeting. So we'll need the regulatory unit report at this time. Sergeant Cowan?
All right. I've had a busy couple weeks, kind of looking through all of these things, along with the holiday at the same time, so. I do have a further investigation that I'm doing with Cabanas, so based on that and the violation that I currently have pending against them, I'd like to press pause on that one.
Okay.
Until the next meeting. Less paint. We've added a camera, and we've had a lot more police presence out there. I'm not saying that that's fixing a problem. However, it seems to be helping, at least at the moment. So we'll see how that is. This past weekend seemed to be a little bit better. So we're just kind of trying that out. As far as the problems that I'm seeing there, they're still there. The parking issue and those issues aren't going to go away. You know, people's got to have a place to park if they're going to go to a business. All right. So the majority of my time the past couple weeks have been spent on this dive into Shady's. Shady's Corner Bar located on Cemetery Avenue. So I pulled information and looked for everything that has come in from September the 3rd until my last final pull, which was right before Thanksgiving on the 23rd of November. That pull looked for anything that would have been associated with the address or the name Shady's Corner Bar coming in or around in the area. That dive found 18 reports were filed during this time period. As far as those 18 reports that were filed, these were not necessarily anything that happened inside the bar. These are things that are associated with the address. So you're looking at 5 driving under the influence DUIs that occurred in the area, the narcotics violations that occurred during that time period, 3 simple assaults that were domestic violence related, 3 weapon laws violations, 3 disorderly conducts, 2 simple assaults, 1 trespassing of real property, which is like a criminal trespass, somebody being somewhere they're not supposed to be. And then 1 theft that is non-specific. Out of all of these, none of them occurred inside the bar.
What'd you say? No, encouraged.
None of these occurred inside of the bar. These are all happening out on the street and in the block range around this particular area. So based on the information that I'm finding here, since the new owner has taken place, that left me to seek counsel from the Hamilton County District Attorney's Office, which I did. And they were in agreement that based on the information that I'm finding, I do not have enough for a citation at this point. I will continue to monitor this, monitor the complaints that come in and logging everything, but as far as what I'm seeing right now, I don't have anything enough that I feel to do a citation for them.
Okay, questions from any of the board members? I have a question. Has the new owner responded to your request to talk?
He has not.
Okay, thank you. Wait a minute, I'm supposed to do this officially. Go ahead, Zach's cue. Let me do Zach. Christie, if you'll push your. It is, okay, good. So let me do next. Is Zach your next? No, Christie, go ahead. Sorry. The type's too small on this, by the way, city. Okay, go ahead.
Sergeant Calvin, out of those calls that you pulled, were those people that attended that club? Do you know? And maybe is that where those calls are stemming from people that were actually there at that club?
No. No, these were from, it appeared to me, people from around the area. A few of the miscellaneous calls were from the actual security in the club, you know, calling for police to help clear the area, people congregating, actually doing what security guards are supposed to do. You know, they're trying to handle it the best way they can, and then when they can't handle it, they call the police for support.
All right.
And those typically end up in a miscellaneous style report.
Zach?
So the word association with Shady's doesn't implicate Shady's. I mean, other than the criminal, the narcotics charges, I don't know if there's a law about DUI, like when someone gets a DUI and they state where they came from, can that be attributed to Shady's? Because that certainly implicates potentially over-serving somebody. I guess the assaults didn't happen on Shady's property, nor the disorderly conduct.
No, and as far as what you're saying about the DUIs, I sympathize with what you're saying there, so I looked into that. In none of these reports are they stating that these parties are coming from Shady's. This could be traffic stops on Central Avenue right there in front. It could be from the side streets, even Main Street. When they make those arrests, it's up to the officer that's making the arrest as whether or not they're listing in a report where these parties are actually coming from, if they even know that. But in none of these reports does it state they're coming from Shady's Bar. So that's all I have to go on that.
Want to follow up, other than the narcotics charges, that was obviously inside Shady's, correct? Wasn't there a sting
can't-
operation?
I can't speak to that. It's an ongoing investigation.
Okay, I'm done.
Christie?
So let's go back to the DUI charges. When he said, you said that they were not listed as coming from Shady's Corner, and they could make the stop on Central Avenue. So Shady's Corner is 1402 Cemetery, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm stopped on Central Avenue, they wouldn't just choose 1402 Cemetery Avenue to use, because there's another building there and several other businesses as well. So I'm a little confused on that.
Okay. So when I do a search, or I have our CIAU do a search, if they only use that one address of 1401 or 1402 Cemetery Avenue, it's only going to pull something from there specifically, which would be nothing. So we're having to broaden that search to the surrounding area. So we're using a complete block from like Central Avenue down to, trying to see what the name of that street is. Well, it's the very next block. It's so small I can't read it, but whatever that street is that's between 14th and Main Street, down there on that very next block. So it's that entire area that we're pulling the information from. So anything in and around that particular block area.
So in and around 1402 Cemetery Avenue.
Correct.
Yes, it's in, it,
So isn't Shady's Corner the only bar that sits there?
Yes.
okay, let's see here. All right, Veronica?
So out of 18 calls, all 18 calls use 1402 Cemetery Avenue.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's was my question.
Right. I'm saying it's that those 18 calls are in and around that block area.
Okay.
Right. I understand. Would you say it's a quarter-mile radius or a half-mile radius if you had to do it that way?
Probably half mile.
Right. Okay. Zach?
This is a question for legal. Are the indictments, are those sealed? Can the city acquire that? Because to me, I'm asking the question because that's, our ordinance says evidence of criminal activity. And to me, that's evidence of criminal activity. And if we confirm it happened inside Shady's Corner, then there could, and I know on your end, it would have to be, the citation can only come from you guys before we can do anything.
I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check with the DA's office to see if that's information we can get.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, thank you. Christie?
Zach, I think the last time you kind of hinted on that, Sergeant Callen said that nothing can be done until the case was over.
Zach?
That's what I'm trying to get around. Because I know they're not proven, they can't get a not guilty verdict until the criminal matter is resolved, or a guilty verdict. But our ordinance just says evidence of.
Right. I think the issue with that is you can't talk about this evidence without talking about the facts of the case, which is what we can't go into right now because the case is ongoing and an open investigation.
I guess my follow-up question is, you can get facts about the probable cause. Is that possible? Because those, I know the facts have been determined by a jury, but if they have been determined by a grand jury, it's my understanding. So that's my question.
So I think the issue becomes if you get that information and let's say there's a citation because of it or whatever, you're going to have to dig deeper into those facts. And it's not just a matter of, oh, let's get this information and, have a hearing and all of this. Like, we have the burden of proof to show that this happened at Shady's and the bar owner knew and should sustain the violation because of that. And because you're having to go that far into it, I just don't see how we can do that while this case is open and pending and there's no conviction or anything yet.
I wonder if a newspaper article's evidence. To us.
I mean,
Just to us, not to the criminal matter.
we should only cite for violations that we think can be, that we think are, valid and that can withhold a challenge in chancery. And I think that may be a challenge.
All right. JW?
So question, Sergeant Cowan, are legal. If the people in the community or the businesses in the community reveals to you all evidence of disorderly, evidence of damaging of property, just evidence in that area, right on that corner, right in that area, can anything be done then?
Yes, I would encourage anybody who suffered any damage or any other interactions, they need to call the police in that moment and make a report the minute that they see something that's occurred. And yes, absolutely, something can be done. The officer's going to deal with that in the moment right then.
To the Shady's Corner and definitely to the individual, or to both? Tell me, I'm just trying to walk it slow.
Would definitely to the individual, if that individual can be identified. As far as the bar itself goes, it's up to us to present a burden of proof that the bar owner would have knowledge of it and that there's some intent there. At this point in the game, what we're dealing with is common behavior coming from bars. If you looked at random bars throughout the city, you're going to have a number of these very same instances that occur in and around all of these bars. So, being heavy-handed on one isn't necessarily it should be equal across the board.
I totally agree. And I'm being quiet on that part. But please explain to me, when you say the bar should have knowledge or intent, I think you used that word. Tell me, if you can explain it to me.
When you're dealing with the disorderly conduct or operating a disorderly business, that's based on the statute of disorderly conduct under Tennessee state law. That's what that ordinance is based off of. And it states very clearly in the very first one that there's an intent to deprive someone of a personal property or their own personal being. So when you're citing a business, an entity, an individual, that's much easier to prove. You have a suspect.
Correct.
But when you're talking about a business and you're talking about a business owner, you're talking about him or her having knowledge that this is occurring and then not doing anything about it. Does that make sense?
It does, thank you.
Christie?
I think one thing I just thought about with Zach, I think what he's trying to ask when it comes to actually citing them for the criminal activity that happened, with the drug activity, wouldn't that still be, evidence to cite under a disorderly place? Even though we know it's in court, but still, they're still operating in a disorderly place with with that criminal activity going on.
You're asking me if I feel that?
Catherine, one of you two, guys.
I don't know if that in and of itself, the fact that a crime occurred in a bar, I don't know if that is enough to establish a disorderly place.
Can you say that again?
That if a crime occurred in the bar, I don't necessarily know if that is enough to establish a disorderly place. Like, I think it's a case-by-case basis. And as this is still under investigation, all of the facts may not have come out about this yet. And that's another issue.
I think that's our issue, probably, and I know everybody's walking slow around this shady corner because they're under investigation. Which really says to this board, we really can't do anything unless you really find something that you can really cite them on right now, or else you just gotta wait until it goes through the court system and find out a guilty or not guilty plea. Is that what I'm really hearing? That's just being very transparent.
That is correct. Yep.
Zach?
So my question is, this is for legal or both. Your governed, my understanding is. Are you governed by the beer ordinance or the criminal, in this case, the criminal ordinances? Because we don't have the same burden of proof. It doesn't mention a burden of proof in the beer code. It just says evidence of.
Well, in the, I think it's section 5, it says, when it's talking about the hearing officer, the city shall have the burden of proof to prove that a violation occurred. That's where I'm drawing that from. So, with the criminal also being somewhat of a fact-finding mission as well, like, it just wouldn't make sense to try to do this while there's facts that are still coming out.
I feel like we have a burden for both.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%, because the city ordinance is based on a state law. So when you're looking at a city ordinance, you got to look back to its neighboring state law and read it for what it is and see if it can be supported. And that's the exact reason why I went to the DA's office, to just be able to seek their advice on this, which they were in agreement.
Okay. JW?
Sarge, I know you stated earlier that you all put a camera up around Les Paint. What does it take to put a camera up? All right, let me ask the question, why did you put a camera up around Les Paint? And is it possible to put a camera up in that area of Shady's Corner, since really the two are the same? Yeah, kind of, if that makes sense. We're looking at the same problem, but Shady's just in front.
And I absolutely have thought about that already. And being fully transparent, I'm not the one that requested the camera, just so everybody knows that.
Oh.
The camera was requested for a completely separate reason in a neighborhood, but it has proven effective somewhere else. So looking at that, I will see what I have to do to try to request that one or a separate one be placed somewhere else for monitoring.
Right.
I'm not making any promises on that. That
Right.
depends on availability
Right.
and certain time constraints. But I'm going to look into that deeper because that may be a way of trying to curb some activity.
And a follow-up, I think that will really give community some easement to know that this board, regulatory, police, all of us are working together to help them as well. Not to push shadies out, but to at least work where everybody's level, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Christie?
So to request the camera, who has to request that? The community? So can Mr. Amin request a camera?
I'm not 100% on that answer.
Do you know?
I don't know that I can speak to that.
I think that's a
I can request.
decision.
Okay.
So did Les Paint, who requested the camera for Les Paint?
I do not know. I don't know who ultimately requested it or why it was placed there. I just know it was placed there for a completely separate reason than what I was seeing the result of, which turned out to be a good thing.
Okay, so,
No, I just think I'm a little confused and I'm finding it a little strange that a camera can be placed in front of there, but not in front of Shady's Corner.
well,
There was also a camera placed in front of the Dream. There was also a camera placed in front of other places, but we can't place a camera in front of Shady's Corner.
gotcha.
Okay, I don't think anybody's saying that one can't be placed there. I think you're taking that to a separate degree.
So, hang on.
When I make a
No.
request, I haven't made a request for that yet, is what I'm saying. What I am saying is that I will.
Okay, I wasn't taking it to a second degree. I'm just trying to get an understanding of how was a camera placed in front of Les Paint. And we don't know who requested it. So I'm asking like, how can we get a camera? Or how can the community get a camera to?
I have a suggestion. As chair, I'm not supposed to, I'll intervene at this point. I don't see a problem with us passing a motion to request that the city police department place a camera there. I mean, if we want to go that step, I don't see a problem with us. They might not honor our request, or they might not say, because apparently we don't know if there is a procedure or not to place the camera there, because we're all, even our officer that represents our board doesn't know what the procedure is, and that's not negative on you, it's just this, how does this process take place?
And that's 100% based on a request. What I do know about the cameras is that's usually crime-driven. You know, they'll usually go through CIAU and look to see where hot spots are in the area, which, looking at
This is a hot spot.
looking at what I'm sitting here looking at with what I've pulled just since September.
Yes.
I don't know that would necessarily be a hot spot compared to other places.
Right.
Which is why I'm telling you, that's just why it might not necessarily be on their radar, but I can put it on their radar.
So let me ask you, would it be, I get what you're saying about the reports, but would it be community-driven from the complaints?
Can I jump in?
I mean, that makes sense to me, but I don't know that I can speak to a process that you would go through to do that.
Right, let me, JW.
From experience on both sides, I know I've been told in past the availability of cameras, which that's what you were speaking of. There's a shortage. But I do know from times past, the establishment requested a camera. Community have requested a camera and got it. City council have requested a camera and got it. Community have requested a camera and got it. So I believe if we apply the pressure, because it is a hot spot.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the purpose of why cameras are really placed in certain areas. I know you said crime related or drug, whatever the case may be. And Les Paint, and I'm trying not to really go there, so I'm really trying to be quiet. Les Paint, who just really came on our radar because when the community came, but then Shady's been on the radar with all of these other issues, and nobody's really focusing, not because of the investigation, nobody's really focusing on it. They're really trying to keep it hush-hush. But now all focus is on really less pay. So I really want to see if we could. I know legal was looking, and I don't know if she wanted to really speak up, when you stated, Chair, that let's make a motion, let's put it towards city council and push their hands and work with regulatory. I mean, if it's available, put a cruiser there, put a camera there. I think, again, I'm back at it, this board has to do something because now our target is really going toward less pay, more so than it is Shady's Corner, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well taken. All right, Veronica?
JW has said almost everything that I wanted to say. Sit here and try to keep my peace and be quiet. Les Payne is a fourth of the size of Shady Corner. Les Payne don't have that much criminal activity that they gotta have a camera pointed on them, regardless to who requested it. If you don't have another camera, take the one from Les Payne and put it where it's needed. It's needed at Shady's.
Okay,
I got a lot I want to say, so I'm gonna leave it at that. JW said a lot of it.
yeah, very good.
And I should know.
Yes, you should.
Now, that's what this form's
It
for.
came out from you better than it would have from me.
Well, I think it's important that the record reflect that I'm not standing here saying that a camera was requested for Let's Paint from anybody.
Right.
I'm saying that a camera was placed in a neighborhood for an unknown reason.
Right. And we'll-
Not necessarily Let's Paint.
There's a neighborhood next to Shady's that's in more desperate problems than Les Payne.
Okay. Yep, you have to step up to the podium.
Was she sworn in?
I don't know.
And we have, are we at the point where they can speak yet? We're still discussing.
Please, one at a time.
No, hang on just a second.
Please.
Hold on. Zach's next, and then we'll have a public comment section here in just a second. Zach?
This question for legal, is the only way a business can get cited to get in front of a public hearing officer by the police? Is there no way the beer board has the authority to do that?
No, the beer board hears the violations brought to it by the regulatory unit.
Right.
Can I make a motion?
You can do anything you want to.
I mean,
All right,
is
wait
it-
a minute, push your button. Zach, are you through?
I'm done.
All right, JW?
I don't know, legal is gonna help me if she will, form this motion, but I'd like to make a motion to see if there's any way possible, Sergeant Cowan, regulatory can propose a camera be placed in and around, or let me say, around Shady's Corner, whatever that address is, 1401, 1402 Cemetery. And just be under investigation in that area. Surveillance. Correct word, so yeah, surveillance. Thank you.
So we have
Go ahead, she's gonna.
let legal comment before I ask for a second.
You can make a motion to request
Right.
that a camera be put in the area,
Correct.
but the rest of that motion, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, so I retract. I make a motion. I make a motion that regulatory CPD can put a surveillance camera in the area of 1401, 1402 Cemetery.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second that motion.
All right. Discussion to the motion, and if you would, press the button, please. All right. I see no discussion, so I'll call a question. Christie? Brooke?
No.
All right. Veronica?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
Betsy?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right, so I'd like to ask Bertha, if you would, in preparing the record for this, that be be highlighted, and then that motion may be sent to Officer Cowan for him to present to the police department and to the city council.
And can we add just a follow-up on that for the next agenda as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Sister Bertha, like I'm in church.
Yeah. And we will follow up on it at the next meeting. Okay. Now, public, any other comments from board members at this time?
Yeah, yeah. Let me say thank you, Sergeant Cowan, for your work and your effort and your time.
Yes.
And reviewing and bringing that back. I know it was within that short period of time with the holiday, but I want to say on behalf of this board, we really appreciate you and your due diligence. And we know it's just not you. You're just the face and the spokesperson. So again, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. All right. Public comment now at this time. So anyone wishing to come and speak before the board? Have you been sworn in?
I have not.
Okay.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Yeah, now we have a 3-minute time limit on this. hang on before we get started here, so you, okay. Okay. We'll do it in a second. All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started then. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
State your name.
It's Sherry Case,
Sherry Case.
CASE. I just wanted to address the camera that Sergeant Cowan was speaking of in the Jefferson Heights neighborhood. The one I believe that he's talking about is actually pointed or was requested by Maple Leaf Rialco, the people that are building the townhouses right there on the corner of Main Street and Jefferson, or Madison Street.
Mm-hmm.
And that camera's been there for probably about 30 days, and it's been for the construction site. There is a camera currently over on Rossville, and it's sitting between Exile, which is now Bad Apple, and Cabanas.
Right.
That camera was requested by our community, and the community has requested the cameras for Let's Paint, Cabanas, and Exile. It just will make its way around.
Okay.
So that other camera has nothing to do with specifically that I'm aware of Let's Paint.
Could you enlighten us as to what procedure the community went through to request the camera?
So we have a community association, and we have a meeting about every 3 months. And all of those bars that surround our community have become a concern for us.
Mm-hmm.
And during that meeting, we had requested or invited all of the bar owners to that meeting to talk about some of the issues, to try to resolve them. The only one that came that day was the owner of Cabanas.
Mm-hmm.
The other bar owners did not show up.
Mm-hmm.
And in that meeting, we talked to our city council person, Rakita, I cannot remember her last name. And she advised that we could request those cameras and she would work on that. So it
Okay.
came through her office.
Very good. All right.
So,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Anything else?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else with public comment? Yes, sir.
I don't know if he's been sworn in.
Sworn in, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, yes, sir.
I wanted to mention that
No, your name.
Hamid El-Amin.
Thank you.
I wanted to mention that the 18 calls, the officer saying that he indicated from September to November that you can't connect them to Shady's Corner. I've been there many times. When the police come, when there's a disturbance or a fight outside, those people are out in the street from the bar. The police doesn't put 1402 Cemetery Avenue. They're going to put Cemetery Avenue or Main Street or Central Avenue. They're not going to put 1402 because it's not happening in there, but it's happening because of that. So just take this year. They've received over 200 and something police reports at that area. If you look before Shady's Corner got there, you have 14th Street, Main, Central. You don't have those calls there. 200 and something just this year. So you're saying that it's not tied directly as the reason you all can't do anything. But the whole problem there are nuisance there. That's the problem. And he said the DA is telling him that there can be nothing done. We spent $1,000 to find the person that urinated on our building. Cameras is on him, watching him do it. The police arrested him for vandalism. And before that trial, they pulled me out of court, the DA did, and told me we're dismissing all charges, expunged this record. So this thing that we should call the police when something happened, I did call the police, and they expunged this record and found him not guilty. And another problem I have is that the owners would not even communicate with you all. I mean, what's up with that? They're responsible, so why come you all can't do something about that? No, the police is not going to indicate 1402, but the reason all of this is happening on Main Street, it's happening on 14th Street Central. All of that is happening because of Shady's Corner. That's what our community came here for other day, to say this place is a nuisance. It's going to cause somebody to be hurt. Just last week, I had to go outside on the sidewalk because a customer at Shady's Corner came out, got in his vehicle, and turned his music up so loud we couldn't even pray upstairs. I knocked on his window and told him he had to turn his music down. If the police had came and violated this person, gave him a ticket, or told him to turn his music down, they wouldn't have put 1402 Central Avenue. They would have just put Central Avenue in that area. So this nuance about wording that he's given is not satisfactory, and we're not going to accept that.
Thank you.
Can I ask him a question? Can I ask him a question?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Hey, sir, can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Have you sent your videos to Sergeant Cow, not directly Sergeant Cowan, to regulatory to let them see, since you have video surveillance, have you sent them to regulatory or CPD for they can see that since you're right next door, they know that it's coming from, or they can see on your camera?
I have done that. I have sent emails and videos to the mayor and other city council members. And I have the file now. I can send them out to whoever need them, that will show actually what is going on there. People are covering up for Shady's Corner, and that's the bottom line. There's no way that business would exist there if that was a church, especially a white church and a Caucasian neighborhood. There's no way Shady's Corner would still be there today with that many calls and incidents there. So somebody here really supports that business.
Well, this morning, Sergeant Cowan said, hey, if he had videos, he can look into it. He just stated that from the
There are
podium.
many
If you
videos.
would send him, I guess send him.
I can send it to him.
Or send him to Bertha,
I
make
can
sure.
send it to them. And you all talking about a camera, after they did the drug sting on Shady's Corner, they put a mobile camera out there for about 3 or 4 days. They set it up right on the street. I went down and talked to the security officer, and I said, why do they have the camera there? He said, because we have large crowds. The police now can monitor
We got what?
large crowds. The police now can monitor the camera from their cars, and it's really a help to us. That's what he told me. And they had it sitting after the drug sting. But those people, and we all know, everybody know in that area, they were selling drugs out of that building. The only reason I feel, and most people feel, that this investigation was initiated when these UTC young girls, their drinks began to be spiked, and these sexual assaults start happening to these young college girls, then they initiated the investigation down Shady's. But people in that community have been suffering for the last 3 years because of Shady's, and nobody won't do anything about it. And he's saying that all of these things happen around bars. He cannot name another bar in Chattanooga that have had these many incident calls. If he can, let him come to the mic and do it.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
No. Okay. All right.
Are you leaving the meeting? Okay, I need to know, so
Yeah.
I know that, so far as I can.
All right. If you would, state your name, please.
You want to swear me in?
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, good morning. Calandra Smith with Hamilton County Coalition. I kind of want to talk a little bit, or maybe just get some clarification about the city ordinances, the citations, how they're issued, and more so how it relates to disorderly place. I feel like I've been probably coming to the Chattanooga Beer Board for over 12 years, so there's probably 3 original people here, Lori, Bertha, and Ron being those 3. And in the past, when it comes to officers providing citations to businesses that have a disorderly place, it could be based off of loud music, it could be based off of what has happened in the parking lot. Being that this particular establishment doesn't have a parking lot, as I'm listening to what's going on, and they're saying it's happening in the street, because there's no true parking lot, then where does that business end? When it comes to patrons leaving the establishment, whether they're intoxicated, whether something has happened, and it hasn't happened initially inside the bar. And previous incidents, a lot of times because businesses have a parking lot, it happens right in the parking lot, right? But because this business is unique to not having any parking spaces, or maybe having 3, all of these things are happening right there within their area. I guess I'm kind of wondering what, in the future, do the board plan to do, or if anything, if they're able to do anything, when it comes to businesses who don't have a true parking space? I know less paint has been brought up again, and they do have parking, so I can see how, if anything occurs, you have a true parking lot to bring that to. But when you talk about a business that has had so many calls within a certain time frame, how then does it become an issue? Or how does the board find a way to help the community into being able to hold establishments responsible? I know no one is sitting here saying that there's no responsibility to no one, but it's like we don't know who to say is responsible. And so what does disorder look like for the board? What does it look like for law enforcement when they have to come out to a parking lot or a street and arrest someone for a DUI, but not ask them, hey, where were you last drinking at? Where are you coming from? I know those have been the questions in the past. And so if those are not being asked, then Zach brought up a point. How can you take a citation and put it back to a particular establishment? In the past, it says, hey, where are you coming from? Oh, I just left Shady's Corner. Well, you were just driving and speeding up so-and-so. How have you been drinking? And then they can tie that back into that restaurant. I don't know that that hasn't been done, but listening to what I just heard, it doesn't sound like it. And so how do we work together with regulatory and with businesses and with law enforcement, the board, to ensure that those things are happening so that the proper citations can be brought before the board to help those community members?
That's good, thank you.
Thank you, Calandra, well stated. Okay, any further public discussion? All right, not one other item on the agenda is the notation in our agenda of the authority of the violation of the beer code and the time limit for the violation to be paid is in the regulations as 7 days. So that, we had a question about that, so that's just a clarification there for us. All right, any other comments? Thanks, everybody, for the discussion today. I thought it was very good. And thank you for being here today. And if not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All right, all in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you.